Good morning, it's David Rizzo with Rogers Gardens, and today we're going to talk about what to do in the garden for October. I was trying to get you guys to wake up. September, no, October. So today we're gonna go through just the basics. It's an interesting time of year. We are cooling down, but we're gonna still have some heat waves. We always do in October. We usually go through like 1 or 2 heat waves. And so that's one thing to watch for the Santa Anas, and stuff like that, because we'll go from like 75, 80. But the main thing that I love about this time of year, we're cooling down at night. So that's a big thing with planting and planting all of the stuff I'm going to talk about today. It's like because people will ask me, oh, it's still 75, 80 in the day. But it's going to start being like low 60s, and then we're going to go to 50s. So that's the biggest thing, is we are going to cool down at night. So that's a big thing. So the first thing I'm going to go through, and we'll save the questions for last. I'm going to go through the vegetables and the herbs and some of the annuals and a little bit of the natives, and we'll go from there. And then I'm going to talk about bulbs. So that's the main subjects I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to do all the cool season vegetables. I'm going to talk about what herbs I'm going to plant. I'm going to talk about bulbs. We just got our bulb shipment in. And then I'm going to go through the annuals. I'll go through starting some of the seeds, Kale natives, and then a little bit about the roses and the fruit trees. Okay, so let's get started. So this time of year, you ripped your garden out, the tomatoes are almost done. You might be hanging on to some, like I have a few fall tomatoes in my garden that are doing pretty good. But the one thing, if you still have tomatoes, if they're growing and they're flowering, keep them. If they're really just looking dead, I'll yank them out. So it really is more of a case-by-case thing. If they look good, I do plant legend tomatoes and Siberian, and there's a couple other ones that I really like, Stupici. But what I do is I don't let them get tall. Like even with Stupici, which is a Czechoslovakian heirloom, I trim it down because I want them to flower and set right now. I don't want them to get 6 to 8 feet tall. That's why a lot of your fall tomatoes are bush types. So don't do any of the late ones. Don't do Cherokee Purple and Black Cream. Those you do in spring. So only do, if you're looking to do fall tomatoes, do Legend. Do even if you can find Jet Setter, Oregon Spring. A lot of the varieties come out of Oregon. Silets, like I said, Legend, Siberian, Manitoba. All those are fall varieties. So moving on from the fall tomatoes, so I did clean out a lot of my garden last week, and I do a lot of my own seeds, so I'm going to wait to plant my seedlings. But right now, you can start putting in your broccoli. So we got in some good one. One of my favorite ones that we get that I love that comes from a company, it's called Early Dividend. A long time ago, I always used to put this in with Arcadia. Arcadia is very hard to get, and I think they pretty much... they're not even, the seed companies aren't even, they sort of done away with it. And it's sad because more of them are trying to go with the smaller headed variety of broccoli. I like the large heads. So Early Dividend, good 6 to 8 inch heads. And other than that, plant them a little farther apart. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, don't put them close. Put them about, foot and a half apart. Put them in the back of the garden. And watch them for the caterpillars. If the caterpillars get bad, I'm always using BT. I'm sort of going away from spinosad because there's a lot of bees now in my garden, but I love BT. BT is good. So only spray it if you have caterpillar problems. So, but that's the thing. So moving through it. So we got that. Let's see what we got next. More broccoli, definitely right now. It's good to start planting your cauliflower. Difference between cauliflower and broccoli. When broccoli is heading up, you don't let it open. So you cut that head just underneath the growth, and then it will shoot side shoots. Cauliflower is only one head, so once you harvest it one head, take it out, amend it, and that's the one thing with it. I usually do 2 or 3 crops of cauliflower a year, so these will probably, if I planted them now, they'll ripen out usually in about like December, January. The minute I take them out, I'll put my Malibu compost down, my worm castings, my fertilizer, and then I'll put more back in. So that's with cauliflower, definitely right now. What do we got now? Cabbage. So all your cabbage you're planting right now, like your cabbage. I was really low on kale, so I didn't bring any kale up. So cabbage right now is good to plant. This is Emerald Cross. Emerald Cross is a good one. One of my favorites, and I didn't see it up there on the tables, it's Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a really good green variety. If you like the red cabbage, I just planted some from seeds. I haven't seen any yet. It's called Red Acres. So that's a good one for those. So definitely with those, but get them in now. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, even celery. Oh, that's what I forgot. They're on the ground. And so, yeah, and so this is one of my favorite celeries. It's called Tango. What I do differently with celery myself in my garden, I don't let it head up all the way. I keep trimming it for fresh shoots. So, and I put them about a foot and a half apart. So, but I keep trimming the new growth. Because some people wait for all the way to the end for them to have cauliflower, or not cauliflower, the celery. And you can do that, that's fine. But I like to harvest young shoots. So keep on harvesting them. And another one that you want to do now is you want to do Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts take a long time, and so sometimes you might not get Brussels sprouts until almost into like late spring, early summer. So if you do them now, because you don't want to wait. And they sort of form a trunk, and the Brussels sprouts will form right on the trunk between the leaf axils. So don't wait for them, plant them right now. And so going into shifting gears, now is the time for all your greens. So I brought up a whole bunch of lettuces. So I brought up some romaine mixes. So you got the red romaine, you got the green romaine, you got your leaf lettuce like the Starfighter. So the really good leaf lettuces. One of my favorites, and I do it a lot from seeds. I love this. I love these gourmet mixes. Let's see if I can find. And I grow. You can do the plants, but one thing I love. This is from Botanical Interest. I love this one. This is gourmet baby greens, but it's all lettuce. It doesn't have other greens in here, so it's like the oak leaves and the romaines and all of them. But I love this mix. That's one of my favorite mixes. And so definitely gourmet mix. And with lettuce, I put it closer together, about 6 to 8 inches apart. This is like the spotted deer tongue. This is a butter oak leaf. I love oak leaves. This is the one that has sort of red speckling, but the oak leaves always have really good flavor, and you'll get them sometimes into the mixture. Like that's mostly leaf lettuces, but the oak leaves though, oh, if you ever see one, they have a longer, skinnier leaf and flavor on those. So do all your lettuce right now, and I'll even do like the different types of romaine, like the little gem and the butter crunch. And I actually brought up a few seeds, so I'll talk a little bit about the seeds. So favorite variety of romaine, it's a little dwarf variety. It's real crunchy. Little Gem. Love Little Gem. This is a good one too. Red Fire. You know, Red Fire, it's more of like a Batavia type. That's a good one. Chef's Medley is probably going to have more arugula. This is more of what they call a mescaline. This is going to have arugula in there. It's going to have more mixed in there. Where the gourmet baby greens, that's just going to have lettuce. So big difference when you get into some of the mixes. Watch what you want. There's a spicy mix, there's one for stir frying, so there's a whole bunch of them. But you can actually either plant the plants or direct sow them in the garden too, because lettuce comes up quick. Lettuce will come up in like 7 to 10 days. Another thing that I won't go into the herbs yet though, let me go through the seeds too really quick. So I'm doing all my beets right now. So Detroit Red, planting those right now. The Touchstone Golds, is it Touchstone? Yeah, it's Touchstone. It's Touchstone Gold is a really good gold variety. Like that one. Direct sow it. The trick with beets, don't plant them really deep. You know, put them about a 1/4 inch down. Water them good because they're slow germinating. This is Early Wonder, beet Early Wonder. This is the one people juice with a lot. And the one thing too, when you do have beet tops, don't throw them away. Saute them. Beet tops are so nutritious, but this is the one they juice with, Early Wonder. Moving on into carrots, you have all the carrots. Now, do your carrots from seeds. I'm not doing plants, I'm doing seeds. So this is Danavirs. If you have really heavy soil, use a roll of Chantonnay. You can use a little 8-ball carrots, and so do your carrots right now before it cools down. So carrots, I didn't bring any radishes up, but radishes, do French breakfast. French breakfast are really good. Radishes come up quick, so 30-35 days. You want to put them directly in the ground, and some of the cherry radishes are more spicy. You want sweeter, French breakfast. Spicier, do the little like cherry bells or cherry bombs and all those. Okay? And so another thing that I talk on a little bit about, I do it more from seeds. a lot of people that are doing like bok choy, pak choy, Napa cabbage, it grows so quick that we do have color packs of it like this. This is like the bok choy, in the pak choy. I do like doing it from seeds directly in the garden because it grows a lot faster, and if you have it in packs, it will bolt sometimes. So this is baby bok choy, and I love the white stem. The white stem is more tender. You can do the Napa cabbage, is really good. Directly sow it in the ground. Napa cabbage, you got to watch it for the pill bugs, because if the pill bugs get bad, I'll use like Sluggo Plus. Sluggo Plus is a good one. This has spinoside in it. This will work for the pill bugs. So that's one thing. Pill bugs love Napa cabbage, so watch for that. So definitely do your Asian greens too. Like I'll do Mizuna, I'll do tatsoi, the Napa cabbage, the bok choy, the pak choy, all of them. Now is the time you do them. But I do like to direct sow them in the garden. The Lisbon scallions, direct sow in the garden. I love those. The kale, like I said, I didn't have a lot of kale in packs. We're just low, but I do the lacinato, dinosaur kale. I like the blue curl kale. Another Italian variety, the Toscana. All good varieties. You can plant them now. Plants or seeds. Seeds are going to take a while though. So when you're planting seeds of these, they'll take about 4 to 6 weeks, so a little longer. One of my favorite things to do right now too is I love spinach. This is Lavua. Lavua is a good one. Matador, good one. Oceanside, a good one. So I like to direct sow these right in my garden, and these are what you would consider more baby spinach, because the baby spinach doesn't have a crinkly leaf. Like you see a lot of Bloomsdale spinach in the garden or in the nurseries, and it's a good one. But I like these more because they're more tender and they're really more, you can pick them anytime, but they consider more baby spinach. But what I do is once they start growing, I mean, they'll take probably about 40, 50 days to really come up and really start, even 60. Then you can start trimming them and they'll come back. As long as, if we get too much rain, then the spinach will go away. It doesn't like really wet soils. But yeah, do your spinach right now. We are low on chard, the 5-color chard. Do the seeds now, do the plant, like if you can find the plants, I'm low on them right now. But I like the 5-color. The 5-color just has different color of the branches. So it's pinks and reds and golds and oranges. That's a good one. Peas right now. So now is the time. We're done with beans. Don't do any more beans. We're already into October. So peas. Three varieties of peas. The English peas. Green Arrow is a good one. This is a shelling pea. You have Sugar Daddy. That's a snap pea. And then you have the Oregon 2 snow pea. So these are sort of my favorite varieties. The biggest difference is the Oregon 2 and the Sugar Daddy. You can eat the whole pods. They're not fibrous. So you can stir fry them, you can eat them fresh, you can, so you can eat the whole pod. Now with the shelling types like that are from England and some of those areas, they are too fibrous, so too tough. So you can't eat the whole pod on these. So you have to pull, there's a little string and you pull it and then you open it up and then you shell them. So that's, the thing with peas, you want to do like a little trellis, something that's 4 to 6 feet tall. I do really simple trellis. I don't really do that much anymore. I mean, a lot of people do elaborate trellises. I'll just get like this utility netting, and I'll take 2 bamboo stakes about 5 or 6 feet apart. I'll tie the netting with zip tie. This netting is 7 by 14. I might do a little area that's maybe 8 or 10 feet tall. It doesn't have to be like 8 to 10 feet long. It doesn't have to be really tall. Peas will only get about 5 to 6 feet tall. But the crucial thing when you're growing peas is they need a lot of sun. And so if it's in too much shade, they'll get mildew, they'll rot, they won't come up. So peas need a lot of sun. And sometimes when you're doing peas, some people like to do them towards more the end of the month. But you can do them anytime. You could do them now, you could do them later. But the main thing is we're into pea season, so that's important. So herbs. So let's shift into herbs. So herbs, as we go more into this month and we get cooler, especially into around Halloween, we're going to start going away from the annual herbs. So like a lot of the cilantro, well not cilantro, I mean basil and dill will start going away because they like it when it's hotter. So you can see like even the basil I brought up, it's not looking really good because the cool damp nights. This is a typical summer type of herb. So this time of year, I'm doing the cool season in the perennials. So I can do the French sorrel That's a good one right now. I can do the cilantro, plants or seeds. I did bring some seeds up. I don't know where I put them. Oh, here you go. So I can do plant or seeds, long-standing or the regular cilantro. All my rosemary, like my upright barbecue and Tuscan blue. Parsley I can do right now, the curly parsley. And this is like the Italian, the giant of Italy that I like. Salvias, so your Bergartens and your chef's choice, and this is garlic chives, do those now. Rue I can do now. So this is the time of year. Perennials, think perennial herbs. I still can do the tarragon, but remember with the tarragon, French tarragon's going to go dormant, so like mark this tag and make sure, because everybody thinks it dies, but it goes into a hard dormancy. I'll still do mint. Mint I don't do in the ground, only in containers. I love mint for green tea, and I always pick off the tip of it, and then I use the new leaves fresh, but I don't put it in the ground because it will run all over. Another one that I like is I like pineapple sage. Pineapple sage is really good for putting into drinks and even lemonade. Good flavor. Another one that's a good lemon substitute that I love lemon verbena. Lemon verbena is a good lemon substitute because the flavor is like lemons. Keep it trimmed down. Don't let it get really tall because lemon verbena will get 8 to 10 feet tall, so keep it trimmed down. Favorite oregano. I love Mexican oregano. I know we have so many different types of oregano. We have the Italian oregano, hot and spicy, and the Greek, but I put my oregano, the Mexican oregano, for pizzas, and so that's one for the herbs. And so with seeding, I saved this one for last, and so these are some different varieties, but I really lately, I've had a lot of arugula reseed itself from last year, and when we had that hurricane, we got a lot of rain, a bunch of arugula germinated. So my favorite arugula, let me see if I love Astro. So the reason why I like Astro is a greener leaf, tender, and it's not really bitter, and it doesn't bolt. Where the common arugula, like this is like the Rocket or the Roquet, it always bolts. So I like Astro. So if you guys get into doing a lot of your own arugula, just seed it. These are good. These are good seeds, but arugula comes up quick. But arugula doesn't like it when it's hot. So that's the thing, even with, like I was talking about cilantro earlier, they don't like heat. So if you're trying to plant these in summer, they're gonna bolt. But now, you wanna put them in now. So that's the thing. So that's the thing with all of the vegetables and with all the herbs and seeding. So moving on, I wanted to touch on these. It's good to start planting your flowering sweet peas. Now these are the non-edible, so these are flowering sweet peas. And so one of the people that used to work here, his name's Steve Hampson. He's a world-renowned sweet pea expert. Now he's doing his own seeds. So if you come in, these are 10 packs, and I think they're like $5 or $7 a pack. I forget on them, but there's some good varieties. So I wanted to bring some up because now's the time to do the flowering sweet peas, and I like these. I'll just use these little Jiffy pots, and I'll put 2 seeds in each one, and I do the little seed starting mix. You know, Malibu has a good one, just seed starting mix. So I pack the soil in there, and I always do 2 seeds. But I wanted to touch on some of my favorites that I grew last year. Mary Priestley, really good white variety. So I like Mary Priestley. Let me show it again. That's a good white. King Ransom is a good sort of pink. More of it like a deeper pink. That's a good one. Just Julia is more lavender, and they were so fragrant. Like that one. John Gray, that's a good pink with white highlights through it. What else do we have? Jacqueline Ann, another good lavender variety with whites through it. Bailey's Cream and Pink, that's a good one. You have Allison Louise, that's a nice one. And then I got Pandemonium, and Pandemonium has more of that veining through it. So don't wait. I always plant the peas, the flowering peas, in packs like this because sometimes the snails and the animals, and they all get them. So don't forget, plant your peas right now. This is the time. So we're moving on. Let's talk about bulbs really quick. I'm going to take down. Actually, I'm just going to move these herbs off the table, and then I'm going to talk about bulbs. Bulbs. And then we'll go over a little bit of the annual flowers and the natives. And so bulbs. Now is the time to start planting your bulbs in the next couple weeks. So This variety right here is a variety of tulip that's very low. These naturalize in California. They don't need to be chilled, so these are really good for our climate. I like this variety. I don't want to get these all wet, so I'm going to move these over here. So let me get into, so if you get into your regular tulips, let me see, I got them all mixed up. So when you get into your regular tulips, and hyacinths are the same way, they need to be chilled for about 4 to 6 weeks in the refrigerator, and then you can plant them outside. Now, a lot of times with regular tulips, they won't come back because we lack the chill that they need to keep naturalizing and coming back year after year. Now, they'll naturalize up in like Big Bear, the Sierras, like mammoths. So that's the one thing with tulips. And I don't see them, but another one that doesn't naturalize, that needs to be chilled, and you get a one-shot bloom, hyacinths. Hyacinths are another one, only blooms now. So with me, I like to do a lot of the stuff that naturalizes. So my favorites, I love daffodils. You get a lot of different varieties of daffodils. This is split corona, the butterfly mixture, the smaller variety. So got that. You have the little jet flyer, little ones. So these are going to come up in spring, and then you get the bigger daffodils. This is trumpet type, the Holland sensation. So that's a good one. But yeah, daffodils I like because, again, you don't need to replant them. I mean, you can divide them every couple years if they get too crowded, but definitely I like stuff that naturalizes. And I'll show you one of my other little favorites. I like a lot of the South African bulbs too. Here's a little one called Spraxis, the harlequin flower. I love those. Those are really good. Little tiny bulbs, and you know, it all depends on the size of the bulb and how deep you plant. If the bulbs are like a ½ inch deep, you might put them in about almost an inch deep. If they're 2 inches, you put them about 3 inches. So you always go about triple the depth on the size of the bulb, but no, don't do them too deep. That's the one thing with them. And so freesias are another one, very fragrant. They naturalize great. So I brought up a lavender one, I brought up a white one, there's mixed. And so, yeah, here goes the mixed ones, the doubles. These are doubles and some are singles. So you have your giant alliums, so you can plant those right now. And then I just got more ranunculus. Yeah, you got more ranunculus. Ranunculus you can put in right now. Ranunculus, this is the bulb form of ranunculus. I've got more double yellow freesias. Some of the other ones too that people like. What are these? These are more these are another one from South Africa. These are like Ipheniums, and these are really cool right here. They will multiply. And then you have grape hyacinths. So now is the time to start thinking of your bulbs. Another thing that I wanted to talk about are the larger paper whites we get. So we get these, and they're really quality paper whites. We sell them individually. And so with going into the holidays and going closer to the holidays, if you want paper whites to come up, always time it 4 to 6 weeks before you want them up, because the paper whites grow very fast, and they do want a pretty good amount of sun. So sometimes I'll grow them outside in a little container with a little bit of potting soil, and I always try to get the containers about 4 to 6 inches deep so they have room to grow. And I like to let them come up, and then I'll bring them in the house, because if they don't get enough sun, they'll fall over, they get really tall. So make sure when you're growing them they get a lot of sun. So got all the paper whites right now. A quick little section, and where I don't know if I have enough time to do this, but all your annuals right now. So now we're getting our violas. Violas I'm planting right now. Pansies I'm putting in right now. I'm doing all my snapdragons. So snapdragons now. The alyssum I'm doing now. Now, if you have a problem with rabbits, watch where the pansies and the violas, because the rabbits like them. So another thing too is we're getting in our pot marigolds, and so these are really good. So all of the pot marigolds are coming in. So those are really good right now. Calendula, I was like drawing a blank for a minute there. Let's see what happens when you get old. I like the fog starts collecting now. So we're getting our pot marigolds or calendulas. So those I plant right now. We're starting to see some of the ornamental kale. We're early on it, but we're getting our ornamental kale and cabbages coming in. So one thing I love to plant with these, I love mixing them with cyclamens. So like cyclamens are coming in. We're pretty well done with New Guinea patience because it gets too cold. Cyclamens like colder, but you want to put these in more shade, morning sun, afternoon shade. Love to pair them with the ornamental cabbage. And I'm going to move this really quick. It's a fast one to the end. Okay, perennials. I want to talk a little bit about perennials. And so let's turn this around. Still good time to plant perennials. So like your blue marguerite daisies, your hummingbird lovers like the cigar plant, the cuffias. I plant the gaillardia or the blanket flowers. We got little butterfly bushes and buddleias. I love doing those. The salvias like the mystic spires and the amisteds and the echinaceas. Could still put them in right now. They'll get established good for next year. The little Salvia gregii, love these. I love garas, and garas are really good. Penstemons, they really didn't bloom as much this year because we were cool, but I love the penstemons. So one thing is, I won't talk about it this month, but as we go more into next month, that's when I really do start trimming them down. Because we're still going to be warm, they're still going to be flowering, so I don't really prune them down that much right now. I was going to talk about one other thing, and I'm like, oh, let's talk. I'm going to move this out of the way really quick, and I want to talk about natives. And so we're getting all of our natives in. So let me move this. I always bring a lot of stuff with me. So natives. So now is the time as we're cooling off and we're going closer. We go through fall and we're going through winter. We're getting all of our natives. Artemisia californica, all the manzanitas, Arctostaphylos. One of my favorites. I love this plant. This is one of my favorite natives. This is your Matilda Haw poppy, and so I love this plant. So when you look at it, the Romney culturized, they get big and they establish better when you plant them in closer to winter time. So we brought in some Dudleyas. This is Island Green, one of the Dudleyas, which is good. This is the only succulent that's native to California, so that's one of them. You're getting in some of the fleabanes like Wayne Roderick. Good one to plant. So all of them. I love buckwheat too. Buckwheat is a good one. Which one's this? This one is San Miguel. It's a Santa Cruz Island native. So I love it for the flowers and the butterflies. The milkweed is going to start slowing down this time of year. I won't trim these back until you go way into late this month, almost November. So they're going to start slowing down because we're getting cooler at night. Love the sages like the Clevelandias, the black sage, the white sage. So they're good to plant right now. Yarrows are good to plant right now, even though they're going to slow down on their blooms. Just cut them back and they'll establish. What else am I going to talk about? Roses. So roses right now, you're not doing that much with the roses, but what I'll do with roses, let me take these down. I will clean them up. I mean, when you go through roses this time of year, I'll clean them up a little bit. I might feed them one last time. And roses are going to start slowing down, but always clean them up. And don't trim them back hard right now. If you trim them back hard right now, they're going to bloom in winter. You don't want it. You want to actually light trim them, maybe feed them one last time. I'll always give them like a down-to-earth rose food with little Epsom salts, one last feeding. And then as we go into the cooler months, I let them slow down. I don't prune them back till January. January, I might take them back by about half. I don't go harder than that. But that's one thing is I see a lot of people wanting to prune them really hard right now. If you prune them hard right now, what's going to happen, they're going to really want to flush in Thanksgiving or December, and then you're not going to have any blooms in spring. So that's one thing with roses. Clean them up right now, get them for a fall blooming, and they're going to start slowing down. And then fruit trees, you're not doing that much with the fruit trees, you know. They're going to start slowing down. Like this is a pomegranate, so like your pomegranates, your peaches, your plums, your apples. Leaves are going to start turning golden color like this one because they're starting to go into their dormancy. The minute we get cooler and our nighttime temperatures start dropping, plants are getting ready to go dormant. So they're ready to hibernate and go to sleep. So I don't do anything with them. I won't feed them. If you do have citrus though and the leaves are turning yellow, I do hit them with iron one last time before it cools down. And so I think I pretty much covered as much as I was going to cover. And don't forget the mums. That's one thing is don't forget the mums. Mums you can plant right now. So mums are going to be strong bloomers in September and October. So plant the mums right now. They're good perennials and they bloom for 6 to 8 weeks. So that's one that you put in right now too. And that's it. Are we ready for any questions?
Let me see. I don't think we had a ton. Yeah, we don't have any right now, but what I would suggest, we are going to post these on Facebook and Instagram if you wanted to follow us on there. And then you can post your questions, we can answer them, or you can also call in and talk to David as well, or any of our horticulturists here as well.
Okay, this is David Rizzo from Rogers Gardens signing off, and you can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on our YouTube videos. If you have any questions, come in and see us. And you guys have a great day. It's going to be a nice day, sunny, warm, and happy gardening.